Okay, I just got back from vacation. Sorry for the shaky screen. I have this set up so goofily. I will do this quick, okay? So I'm going to give you guys my vacation haul, show you everything I got, give you guys some stories and a little bit of updates. I'll do the update really quick because I kind of already said this stuff, so I'll skim through it immediately, all right? For right now, okay, until probably the end of the year, I have a savings goal. I'm going to try to hit it, and it's one of those I can just be comfortable on. Like, money has been such an annoyance, so I'm going to do my best, save up a good amount of money, and from there, I can just sit on it, you know, future down payment, any of that stuff, whatever you want to say. So throughout these next months, the plan is keep doing Pokemon content whenever I can, cards wise, like lists, any of that stuff. If you have any sort of content that you would like me specifically to do, please leave it below. Super open to anything. I'm trying to do lists, maybe the mini cool documentaries where we'll talk about like a cool weird history behind a card that nobody would have ever expected from like a single one, stuff like that. I want to get into that. Love that stuff. And I'm going to try to keep this channel. You will get a video guaranteed every week. And if you don't get at least one a week, the next week I'll try to do two. I will do my absolute very best. I want to stay consistent. I can't say specifically what, you know, I'm collecting that will be consistent. For now, it will be the collecting hobby. I will do my absolute best to get as much Pokemon in as I can because a lot of this audience is Pokemon and I love you guys and I really appreciate you watching the videos. I get it. I know if you watch somebody and they randomly change up, it's the most annoying thing ever. That's why I'm going to do my best not to change up and still have that content. I can't promise it's the exact thing I've been doing where it's like a big haul or good haul, opening it with people, whatever. I'll do my best to stay consistent with it though, if that makes sense. Okay, now that that's out of the way, I'm like charged, but it's good. If it's too fast and annoying, I apologize, but it means I'm happy. We went to Colorado. I got the Colorado Buffaloes shirt on. I'm not gonna lie, not the biggest college football guy, but my dad got it for me, and it's a cool shirt. It looks, you know, it looks really good on me. No, I'm kidding. But I got a couple shirts, couple clothes for like lifting, whatever. But onto the special stuff. So I'm gonna save this story for last, not to like edge you guys, not like that. Come on. But not to like keep you guys on the edge and be like, oh, wait around. Like the watch time doesn't mean too much yet because I'm not getting paid. It helps me get to that point though. But first and foremost, one of the most obvious out of the way, and I got some of it in the thumbnail, I ended up picking up the JLA Batman from the Plastic Man Build-A-Figure wave. And I'm not gonna lie, first and foremost, I'm gonna try to get reviews going. I'm not gonna do it right now though, because I want to get into doing it professionally. I really like the Jon Stewart one, and that'll have a place in my heart for how damn good that figure is and how I recorded it, but I don't want to keep it like this. I'm gonna try to do professionally where people will record some with, or they'll record, I think, the figure with their phone and have like a face cam on a PC hooked up. That's what I'm gonna try to do. So I'll try to do like a review a week or whatever and figure it out. So I got the JLA Batman. I got it from one of the GameStops in Colorado. I'm not gonna lie, I was a little annoyed with it at first because right under the utility belt where the trunks are, the trunk was stuck underneath the leg, so it would be like the leg and thigh up top, and the trunk was like behind it. So I had to fix that. It was a minor annoyance. There's a little bit more like blue, almost like shading than I would like on the figure. But as it is, as funny as it is, this is as close as you're going to get to Lego Batman. Like that look. If somehow that's what you're going for, and if there's more villains in the future, this is the one for you. If not, I'm going to show you guys in a second. I'm going to see if it looks good with the Justice League. Right now, I don't really have a definitive Batman to put with it, so I'll show you guys real quick, and we can go from there. It's pretty basic. I guarantee there's better options, but it's not bad. This is what I got so far for Justice League, Society, whatever right now. Also, I love the stand in Aquaman is so funny. I think that's from DC Multiverse or Universe or whatever. Like, that's an older one you can see from the, I think it's a Y or V pin, whatever they say for the legs. But getting back to it, as critical as this sounds, I promise I'm not being, like, I'm just being honest. McFarlane has done way better. If you're going for the Plastic Man wave, I would either buy the pieces or just skip on this one. Or if you get it, it's another figure to have. Get it with the pieces, use the pieces, whatever. For me, it's not amazing, but I feel like it might honestly have head swap potential where you could take this one off and put another one on. I have no clue what kind of peg. Like I said, I'll get better at these stuff and give you the info you need. It's just kind of all right. I picked it up for the Plastic Man pieces. Now I have the two heads that came with this, the stretchy arm pair, and then I have the legs, so I'm getting closer. Another cool thing, we have the Plastic Man, I was about to say, Build-A-Figure pieces. Here's the stretchy head. I love how for the eyes to represent like a glow, it just looks like window panels. It's really funny. And funny enough, I think when I've seen the cartoons, it looks like that. So it's like funnily accurate. Then we got the stretchy hand. I love how they did this one with the finger stretching too. It really gives Mr. Fantastic vibes. And I love the colors. I think they look really good. I think the only critique I've really seen on the figure, like the Plastic Man looks good. I can't wait to get the full thing eventually when I get the Superman. Only thing I've seen is with the legs, like the kneecap part, and I believe the feet or something are slightly different skin tone, so it kind of looks off, but I feel like that's something you got to squint at or like really be paying attention to, so it's not that bad. This I love. This arm where he's like grabbing his own arm. I don't think, like, I'm not a huge enthusiast of like the stretchy people as superheroes. I've never seen this before. I thought it was cool and funny. Good idea too. And then we got the normal head. When I get my Plastic Man, more likely I'll just have the normal, but I'll see what the stretchy looks like. And hopefully one day I find the Platinums to where I can have two. I don't know how many teams he's been a part of, but it'd be cool to have him in two displays, or I guess twice in one display if you really wanted to. Another cool thing we got. So Acadia's grandpa has these. And when I went to his house, I was like, it's like a cool display piece, all right? Just like a little frog, whatever. But you see the stick, and at least most people are immediately like, there's more to it. I wonder what it does. So you take it out, and if you're not familiar, there's probably people that already know what's going on. I apologize. Just humor me here. What you do is you take it out, and it kind of looks like one of those honey sticks, you know? You stir it up or do whatever. Honeycomb, I don't know. I'm really dumb. I know my grandparents had it. But you just... And it makes cool sounds, and I don't know what they're called, but here in Michigan, we have frogs, and we always call them spring peepers, and it sounds like almost exact. So I purposely got the small one. They had one this size. Like, look at it compared to my head. It's small. And they had a medium that was honestly probably rivaling my George Lopez head. But I just went with the small one. Funny enough, we're here for story time, too, and the fun parts of collecting. I went to get this. This was the only thing I got in this specific store. If you want to find something like this or some of the other stuff I'll say, Manitou Springs in Colorado. Awesome place for shopping, you know, clothing, little trinkets, all that different stuff, and collectibles you'll see in a second. But this was supposed to be $10 for the small one and $20 for the big, and it's probably a pretty decent deal for the big one, but I was like, I don't want to have to worry about taking that home. Like, that's going to be more of a nuisance, so I liked the sound specifically from the small one, and this one I think specifically because it sounded like the spring peeper, so I went with this. They charged me $20. I don't know if it was like a he looks ignorant, let's just sneak this in, or if it was a genuine accident. I told Acadia I was so embarrassed. I saw them do it. I didn't do anything about it. I don't know why. I was like, you know what? If they need the money, give it to them, man. If not, if I'm getting like just outright scammed here, they'll get their karma one day. I don't care enough. So they got an extra $10 out of me for no reason, but whatever. On to the next thing. We have Crisis on Infinite Earths. And my lord, it's so funny how these things work out because I have a story for almost all this stuff. I think the Batman was one of the only things I don't really have a story for. I just went into a GameStop and found it, and I was like, you know what? I'll get it. I need the Plastic Man pieces. This Crisis on Infinite Earths, I don't know all the different covers, whatever, but it's like the whole story, I believe, in this. In the cover looks sick. You have Superman holding Supergirl like dead. You have Superman also holding Wonder Woman dead, like two different timelines, whatever. At the bottom, if you can see, it's kind of hard to see because there's so much going on. Flash literally running to death. You have people on the front like Power Girl, I think Hal Jordan, specifically Green Lantern. Brainiac's ship is just chilling like over here. Here's Hal, I think. Yeah. Green Arrow, Cyborg. Like, yeah, I could keep going, but you guys, you get the point. Cover's awesome. I believe the story's really good, and I know it has Anti-Monitor in it, and I love that figure, so I can't wait to like read through this because I've seen like the animated movie, but honestly, I sometimes like going and reading the book too, or the comic to see what it's like. That was at a Barnes & Noble in Colorado. I can't remember where specifically, or I would tell you guys. And let me pull the other one real quick. I heard about this in advance, and at least a couple of you will be able to guess by me saying this, but they had a crossover with Godzilla recently, all right? I read the Power Rangers one. Just easy story to read, really entertaining, loved it. I have it sitting over on my dresser somewhere over there. And guess what I find? Justice League versus Godzilla versus Kong. I did not expect this to be out. I don't think it's like early or anything, probably around the time it should have, or maybe a little after I got it. I couldn't be more excited to read this. On the back, they have a quote from Lex Luthor, and this got me like, oh, I can't wait. It was, I know how to take Superman and Justice League off the board forever. Just like a corny, like, I got this. But it was like, yo, introducing, if it's him specifically that does Godzilla, or him introducing Godzilla and Kong, cool setup for the story. I can't wait to read it and see what it's like. Also, I don't know if they were supposed to take this off or not, but I still have the electronically protected thing. The cool story for this, and I apologize, I'm going like 10,000 miles an hour when I'm talking, but there's a lot to talk about, and I don't want to waste you guys' time. I appreciate you just watching this. We get up to the cash register, and I went in with one of my family members. The rest on that specific trip stayed in the car, and they were looking around. I was looking around, just taking it all in. We were not in a rush. I was like, let me look, see if there's anything I want. I found that Crisis on Infinite Earths. Not gonna lie, that was the book by the cover 1,000,000%. I was like, that cover looks sick. Can't wait to read the story for myself. And I saw this, and I was so hyped. So I take them both up to the counter. I've been doing good about not spending money, but I saw these, and I was like, I folded. I was so ready. Take them up to the counter, all right? Everybody's following. This is easy story. And it's a somewhat older lady. And I think with the person before, she kind of was talking to them, and I was like, oh, that's cool. Like, I appreciate when people like their job, or they have a job where they can talk to people and get that interaction. That's why I love the local card shop so much, because specifically the two people I always get my cards from, and honestly the other people I work from, so nice. It's so hard not to like it. So I'm getting up, and I already saw she was talking to people. I'm not even thinking like, oh, what's she going to say to me, whatever. Just kind of like a take it in. Could be talkative, or like, you know, likes their job, I guess. And so me and my family member get up there, and I'm going to pay, and I'm in one of those like really chill moods. So it's like easy to talk to me, I suppose, or approachable, if that makes sense. And she goes, oh, look at this. And she was talking about the Crisis on Infinite Earths. I can't remember exactly what she said, but something along the lines of like it being chaotic, like, oh, what's going on here? And I was just kind of like little chuckle. She picks this up, okay? Godzilla, or Justice League versus Godzilla versus Kong. And she's like, oh, what happens? And I'm laughing because it's either on purpose or just being so funny and goofy. I was like, oh, I'll have to read it and tell you. And we were laughing. And she goes, wow, they got a threesome going. And she's like, oh, that sounded wrong. And me and my family member just laughing. I love that stuff. Like, not sexual innuendos, but like the interaction. It's awesome. It never gets old. I promise you that. So got those two. I really need to read my stuff. I got to finish my Green Lantern Omnibus. Somebody said down the line, in either volume 2 or 3, they started getting bored. At least with 1 so far. I love it. They never said anything about that, but I'm so happy. I got to a part where Guy Gardner's pulling down his pants to moon Batman on the inside of the satellite. That's funny. Who thinks of that? I respect it. It's very childish, but it caught me. Then we had one day, I just had a lot of time. So the plan was to go to different comic book stores or kind of collector stores. I mean, the plan was to look for DC Multiverse stuff because I can so easily buy stuff offline or online. It just doesn't make it as fun. So I was trying to find that, and then also like comic books. I like when you can just read the story. The single issue is cool, and I'll make sure to have some in my collection with like really cool covers or specific ones where it's like an event or that specific part of the event that I really like. But for now, if you see stuff on here, it'll most likely be like the finished thing. So we went to a collectible store, whatever you want to call it, and I'll shout out their names because these places were sick. It was called Iron Lion Collectibles, I believe, and it was one of the most impressive displays in like a store I've seen yet for collectibles, comics, card shops, whatever you want to say, because they had comics and card shops. Sorry. They did comics and card like collecting stuff the most, I would say. And honestly, statues. That was probably the most impressive part. They had massive shelves. I believe good lighting too. And they just had so much. I won't say the overused anything you can think of. But they had a crap ton of single issues like displayed for obviously like the cool looking cover. They had a bunch of the graphic novels. I was looking through some of those. The only problem was a lot of them weren't volume 1. So like in the past, I've gotten some so that later on I can read, but it was because it was at Ollie's, and I'm probably never going to get it as cheap. So it's like, I'll put it to the side for now, and then I'll read the whole story and have it, whatever. But they had a bunch of different, like volume 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, whatever. So I took that store in. Like, my experience with it wasn't buying anything. It was going in and being like, holy shit. Like, I have a friend, Joe, that loves Star Wars, and I made sure to show him at least 1 or 2 of the statues. They had very impressive and expensive ones, but for a reason. They also had, like, Hulkbuster, I believe Deadpool. I know Hulkbuster for sure. But they had Marvel, Star Wars, not as much DC. but they might have even had some of that too. But like I said, I was going for DC Multiverse. They didn't have any, sadly, but they had, I mean, how it's displayed, I'll do my best to represent it to you guys. So if you're the door, okay, this would be the door. Immediately, it's the shelves almost all the way around, or like a decent bit, or sorry, it goes like this. Like single issue, getting into the graphic, and then the statues, and then it goes a lot of the statues along the wall. Just impressive. And then on the other side of the store, like if you go through the door and you look right, it's a lot of their card playing section. I will give them insane credit. You can tell there's a community going on in there. Almost the entire time me and my pops were in there, I heard laughing, just having a good time. Nobody mad at each other. I think there was a decent bit. I did my best not to like look at them and like almost single them out and like kind of stare for a second, because then they're going to think like I'm judging what they're saying or like kind of being weird about it. They were definitely comfortable and I loved it. The guy working there was very nice too. We didn't really have anything we needed help on or we're looking for, so he couldn't really provide assistance, because I kind of saw it was in there and I'm like, I'll skip this time, but I'm going to look at the store. Impressive as hell. If you get the chance, if you're in Colorado, please visit it. Iron Line. I didn't even get anything, but the experience alone is sick. What else was I going to say? Or if you're not going to go to the area, you don't think you're going to, look it up online and just take it in. It is impressive, and I'm very proud of them. That's a hell of a thing to pull off, where you walk in, and it's not like, oh, this is my stuff. This is really cool. It's like, holy shit, dude. Like, the investment for the store was there. The community they got going, everything. Huge thumbs up. And I didn't even buy anything. So after that, we go to a comic shop, REC Comics, and hopefully, like, if I have enough time to edit this, I'll, like, pop stuff up on the screen. I might even show you guys some images for the Iron Line, so you don't have to really go out of your way to see this stuff. But I went to a comic store called, I think it was REC Comics and Collectibles, or REC Comics something, in Colorado Springs area, I believe. And I ended up getting one thing. But my pops and the store owner, my dad could tell that I was just kind of looking for stuff and trying to make sure like I didn't miss out on anything I really wanted. So I was looking a little bit at the Funko Pops I've been kind of getting out of them. They actually had DC Multiverse, but a lot of them were basic, and the only platinums they had were like the literal platinum or silver or whatever they do, where they literally look like a statue. Not the biggest fan. I might get one maybe. I've only ever seen one in stores. It was General Zod. I didn't even care for the normal figure. I might switch, but getting to it, like, it was nothing I really, really wanted. I think the only one that I kind of regret not getting, like when I could have in the past, even at my local stores, and then there, I guess, too, is the Demon, like Etrigan. I really want a Justice League Dark display, because I think they have really cool characters. Swamp Thing, Dr. Fate, I love. Oh my gosh. Constantine. Etrigan really grew on me with the Apocalypse War animated movie. I love Frankenstein. So it was cool. But they had a couple of cool ones. I swear they had Grim Knight Batman, or a couple of the more popular Batmans, and some of the like cool DC Multiverse, but there wasn't nothing that really caught my eye. It seemed like he had a specific era and then nothing too modern. So I passed up on those. I even passed up on some of the old DC Multiverse. I know they had Kyle Rayner, Kid Flash, whatever other ones, and they even had, I think it's Nart or Nort was a Green Lantern. I have no idea what like collection or company that was from. It was one of those like clear boxes, and then it had the hook and whatever. Weirdly, really tempted to get that just to put with my Green Lantern collection, but I'm gonna try to do as much McFarlane as possible. Anyways, my dad recognizes I'm taking my absolute sweet time looking around, taking in, enjoying these places, so he gets talking to the guy. And I wasn't taking too long, but he kind of had an idea, like, oh, he might be a minute. So he gets talking to the guy. They really hit it off. Really chill owner. I guess he was in the movie business, he was saying, like, really down-to-earth guy. Him and my dad were talking about it. And then he got into, like, owning the shop and all this different stuff, and used to work, like, 7 days a week. Now he's, like, easier on himself, like, looking out for himself. He'll work 5 days. Luckily, the day we went, they were open. I think they're closed Tuesdays and, like, a Thursday, Friday, or Saturday, one of those. And he has a really cool display piece. So when somebody in my family had experience with theaters working there, it was around when Dark Knight came out. So we have this really cool, what would you call it? Like almost canvas type material. I'll show you guys eventually, poster of it. And it's literally like, it has the names of the actors, obviously, some of the stuff at the bottom, like the credits. And it has Batman on the like bat cycle that shoots out of the tumbler. It's so cool. I gotta end up putting in this room eventually, but there's just so much stuff that I'm taking it easy for now. But almost something similar, like something as a promo for the movie, he has a Silver Surfer. Like it is a long ass board, and then Silver Surfer doing like the going forward. So cool. And it's just in the middle of the store, nowhere better to put it. He didn't have a huge space, so it's like Silver Surfer and then like stuff to buy around him. It was really cool. But really nice to my dad. And it was one of those where I didn't have anything I really, really, really wanted, but I ended up coming across this, and this was the one I definitely wanted the most out of the store. And my dad was really cool. Like, he really hit it off for the guy, so he's like, I want to support this dude. This dude is chill as hell. So he got me Justice League of America by Brad Meltzer, the deluxe edition, and Jeff Johns, at this point in time right now, is my boy. Like, what he's doing in that Green Lantern omnibus, I love. And I think I read some of the Rebirth or New 52 Justice League, I believe he helped with, or something else I swear I read, or at least heard the story for. He's an absolute star in my eyes. So I saw this. This was another, judging it by its cover in a good way. I saw all the superheroes, the really cool artwork, and I love this art style. I saw the back too. The only thing that sucks is this covers a lot of them, but you can still get a good idea. But I saw this and I was like, I need to have this. I love the Justice League. That is the one team above all that I want to read so bad. Obviously, the Green Lantern Corps and those Corps too. Those might be... They're fighting, man. They're fighting head-to-head right now. But I love the Justice League, and I also want to get into Justice Society, Justice League Dark, all those. I don't know what it is about DC. It is so addicting to get into more. Marvel I love, but I have the movies and the other experiences I've had with it. I don't have as much wanting to get into it, weirdly, as I do DC. But I saw this. I saw all the different characters, the art style, everything, and I was like, this is what I want. And my dad was really cool. He bought it for me as like, he really appreciated the guy, liked the guy, and he's like, I want to support him, and I'll do it. Like, he went out of his way. He's like, you pick something out and I got you, or two things, obviously depending on the price. I'm not going to run up like two $500 things on Pops. But he got this for me. Super happy. Can't wait to read it. Again, I have a lot to read, but I'm going to definitely pick and choose favorites. I promise I'm trying to go fast with these stories, but you can't rush some of these awesome stories. Then, by far, one of my favorite experiences, and I will happily shout them out. If you are in, again, the Colorado area, or just, I don't know if they have a website to buy off of, if you can ever visit them, please, for the love of God, visit them, give them business, show them love, whatever. I went to CK Comics and Collectibles on Manitou Springs, like that one where they have all the stores I was talking about. And the first day I went was the day where we had nothing to do. It was a rest day, just kind of chilling, whatever. And that's when I was like, I haven't really gotten a chance to look at my stuff. I'm not going to be selfish. They offered it to me, and I was like, I'll happily take it. So that's when I went and found those comic book stores, and I was like, now I'll look at this one, because I had a couple looked up to go check out. And I'll throw this in here really quick, sadly. Of course, I was in the area and didn't even know about it. They had Comic-Con in Denver. I had no idea. I could have went and checked it out, and that would have been one of the coolest experiences, but I ended up working out anyways. So that sets up for the story, I promise. Trust. So my dad parks, and it's just me and him, and he's like, honestly, you could probably walk there. And he's like really protective over us, and he has our backs. He's a really good dad. But it was like a short walk, and I was like, dude, I'd love to. No problem. So I go, and it's closed. So I wait a little bit. This guy walks up with, I think probably, I'm trying to guess. I didn't even look, but had a kid in the stroller and was looking in. I think he had something Wolverine themed on him, and I was like, that's really cool, because I saw there was like a Wolverine thing in the window. And me and him are just waiting for a second. No sign of life whatsoever. So it's one of those cut your losses, whatever. We had to pick up somebody too, so we just dipped. We come back the day after, because I was like, I want to check this out. It was weirdly kind of like empty, and that sets up for it too. I was like, it doesn't seem that grandiose or crazy, but something about it, I want to check it out. So the next day, we get the chance to. It opened up. It was supposed to at 2, and it had on the door, like, closed 2nd, 3rd, 4th of July, and whatever dates. It said open, like, 7th and 8th or something. I think it was the 8th I got to go. And so we get there. It opens up at 2. I end up coming, like, way after. Like, we were there by the time it opened, but we were in all the other stores just enjoying it, having a good time. I finally get to circle around and go to it at around 3:10ish, I believe. It was one of those, it happened for a reason. Like, you can't explain it. It was so nice, perfectly set up. Some lady is outside, and we could tell she was kind of going back and forth, waiting on something. And there was a bar in the comic store. I don't know what their partnership is or if they're just next to each other or whatever. But she was kind of pacing back and forth, and my dad said, oh, do you know, if you're around here, do you have any idea if the comic store is opening or if it's open, whatever? And she's like, yeah, it should be. I'm waiting on my keys from him. So I don't know if they were like dating or what the relationship is, friendship, you know, same complex, can help her in, whatever. I don't know. I'm not trying to assume. But he ends up coming from the outside and going in, and he makes sure to like talk to me, like the nice, like really, really nice interaction. He looks back, sees like the Spider-Man shirt. Of all days, I wear that shirt. And he's like, oh, hi, how you doing? Whatever. And I'm like, oh, good, good. And he goes in with, I assume, his daughter, and then nothing for a second. He goes out of his way to probably, sorry, it's not a Core Collect video without the storage going out. But anyways, he comes back out, singles me out. I think there was somebody else waiting. I could be wrong, or just sitting on the bench. He's like, would you like to look inside? I was like, I would love to. And it was one of those, like, obviously he sees the Marvel shirt, so he's like, oh, probably somebody that wants to come in and buy. But it was almost like a syncing up, like, wavelengths or, like, minds where it's like, I can just tell this guy really wants to come inside. So very, very polite, like, outgoing to be like, yeah. My parents said, from the entire time I was just kind of looking around, taking it in, whatever, I don't think they let anybody else in. I think he purposely was like, I know he probably wants to look, I'll let him look, and went out of his way to be really cool like that. So if they ever see this, I really appreciate it, man. But I get in, and I noticed, I think almost immediately, they had a cat. I love cats because of Odie. I'll always love cats because of Odie. And funny enough, it was almost like an inverse. Like, Odie's really white with some black spots. Their cat was like really black with some white spots. And it was almost like, it had the inverse look, but almost same personality, where really, really nice cat, like people person kind of cat, like going up, rubbing up on me, and it would like offer its head. Like, I've had stray cats around our area. They will not let you touch their head. Like, they know it must be a vulnerable part where they can get hurt really easily. They don't. And that cat's just like nuzzling and so cute. And they must have liked me, or they knew, like, really good intentions, just loving the hobby, whatever. And the daughter was like, oh, you know, that's Phoebe, whatever. And I was like, oh, cool, cool. So, like, half the time I'm, like, looking around at the stuff, and the other half I'm just petting the cat, showing it love. It was awesome. But they had a cool setup, I assume, because of what I was talking about earlier. This part's not assumption. It'll be after. But they went to the Denver Comic-Con. I'm jealous, man. And they had a booth there even. So it looked empty before because they took a crap ton of their stuff to sell. So shout out to them for that. But so they're kind of dropping stuff off, and he made sure he asked, like, oh, you know, what are you into? I was like, honestly, for this trip, I've been looking for DC Multiverse, but nobody really has it. Do you have any of that? And he's, oh, no, sorry. I think he had something similar, either something else from the McFarlane line, like a, I don't know, Avatar, I don't know, I think Walking Dead, McFarlane did, like, stuff like that. I was like, oh, not that. And he's like, oh, well, what are you into? And I was like, I love DC, and I like Marvel too, but mostly DC. And he's, oh, you know, I'll leave out the DC stuff I have, and then I'll put out some Marvel for you too. So, as I go through, I'll try to give you a little story on each. They had a lot of graded comics if you want that too, like some of the more popular ones. I think there was one of the McFarlane covers, either Venom or one of the ones. I mean, a bunch of other stuff. Just awesome place. So he left out, and he made sure to mention, he's like, do you like the mutants? Like, a lot of people like the mutants. So it's one of the safe choices. And I was like, honestly, I've never really gotten into them for myself. I never had, like, friends around me that got me into it. So it was up to me, and I'm a DC guy. I love the Marvel movies, but based on the heroes and villains, DC guy probably till I die. But he set out a lot of mutants ones, and I think I've heard stories through Comic Storian, or I think it's Something Explained or something. And I think this is the Krakoa, like where they go to Krakoa. I could be wrong, but based on how Jean Grey looks is my assumption. But it's a volume 1. So I was like, if there's somewhere to start, I'm going to start at issue 1. Sorry. So I got that in his advice, because most people like mutants. It has Cyclops, X-23, Jean Grey on the cover, and somebody I honestly can't tell. Oh, it's monkeys or gorillas. That's crazy. And I was like, I'm interested. I'll read it, see how I feel. And then I ended up finding, and I don't know if this is the first issue or volume of this. If so, this is sick. I don't know if I would get it graded or what, but they had Spectre, and it says volume number 1, and this looks old. Holy crap. I think it is. It says 1986 DC Comics. And on the back they have, I always struggle with his name. I always try to say Mr. Terrific, and I know how he looks. Then like Mr. Fantastic. What is it? I gotta cheat. Hold on. You'll see why in a second. Mr. Miracle. Sorry. Mr. Miracle. No idea who the old guy is. Top right, I have no idea. I think the girl, Dr. Light, Blue Beetle, Batman, Martian Manhunter, Dr. Fate, Guy Gardner with his smirking ass, and Shazam. And I was like, I want to read this. Like, Spectre is so sick. I got the introduction from possibly one of the best ways you can when he's talking to Hal, is like the other side of like almost like two coming together like a firestorm. Just so sick. Being like God's vengeance or whatever he says, or wrath. That's so sick. Then I got, mostly for the cover on this one, because I think I'm going to end up getting to read this through, if I get the Blackest Night Omnibus or maybe some of Jeff Johns. But I got Blackest Night, Justice Society of America. So on the front, I think Captain Atom. This is why I love getting this stuff, because then I'll be more familiar and learn. But basically the only one I can tell is Captain Atom, because the logo, the rest, the front is just so sick. There's so much going on. Some poor girl's getting dragged up while this guy's like flinging some dead person. It's really cool. I don't try to get too much for the cover. Like, I actually try to read them, but definitely throughout time there's going to be ones like this one. Got this one too. This is another one of those like almost from situation or whatever you want to say. I can't think of it at the moment. It's so late, and I'm surprised I have this much energy. But I got Green Lantern for Guy Gardner, and it has the Nort or whatever. Yeah, that I saw. I kind of wish I would have bought them now, but I can always get them online if I want. But just funny. It had Guy Gardner and Nort, and I was like, why not? It wouldn't hurt. It's probably like a little friendship thing, or him going to the planet, and he's with the two girls of the same species. Very funny. Then I got Superman Action Comics, Dawn of DC. I think this is very, very recent. Issue 1054. Superman versus Metallo. I saw Metallo from, I believe, Public Enemies, and I think there was another one he was in. I could be wrong. Just kind of a cool villain. I can't wait. Oh, it already is a McFarlane figure. I hope McFarlane does the version where he's got like the backhoe or whatever claw, or just like the really robotic looking, like silver or whatever that look is. I love it. Then we have, I mean, there's not really much else to say about that. I just want to see Superman and Metallo go at it. Then we have Infinite Frontier. This was one of those pique your interest and try, because comic books are never really that expensive. Like omnibus and big volumes, whatever, the compendiums, sure. But the single issue, it's nice because you can kind of get into stuff. And there you go. That's the appeal. I always say I like the full story, but if you want to see if you like it, it's awesome. So it was also issue 1 of 6. So it was like, it's literally like, if you want to try it, here you go. It has Darkseid in the background. I believe Val-Zod, Alan Scott, I know for sure. I can't tell if this is a version of Dr. Light or what. I think Blue Beetle on the end. It looks like his head. I apologize for the lighting if it's not good. Arsenal, Flash, and either a Black Canary, or I'm not even sure what that is. Just kind of looks like an agent. So like, seems cool. I'll try it out. And then the last one, I believe Mr. Miracle is going to be in the DCU. I could be wrong. I have to say that a lot because I don't want anybody to get real mad at me. But it was a first issue, and I was like, I know literally nothing about this character, but I want to know, so let me check it out. So I got that too. It gets better somehow, and like really nice. If you ever get your own shop, look out for people, and I promise, like I'm doing right now, they'll look out for you. There was no obligation for me to like shout this dude out, say the story, whatever. Just based on attitude is one of those, like, you want to help somebody out because they're so pure, so nice, so kind, generous, whatever you want to say. I get all this stuff, and if we want to look right now, this book can go for 4, Mr. Miracle. Okay, we got 4 so far. This can go for 5. Okay, we're at 9. This one can go for 5. We got the Action Comics. So we're at, what did I say, 13? 4, 5, 5. Yeah. Wow, why is my math so bad? 14, all right. And we got 2 for this, 16. We got, was that 2? Yeah, another 2 for this. We got 18. We got 20, okay. And then we got 25. I want you to take a second. You don't even have to put it in the comments. I always say it because it helps the video do better. Take a wild guess how much you gave it for me, or gave it to me for. $20. Now, it's not some insane discount, but man, that's more than enough. That means the world to me, because you don't need to. It was cheap enough where it's like, I don't mind getting it. I'll get it. Like, that's cool. Like, that's cheap for me, and I can check out this stuff. It's really nice. But made sure to go out of his way, give me a discount. And my dad is being such a goofball. He loves Dark Knight. That's probably one of his all-time movies. Just me and my brother loved it as kids, and it's just a special, like, the movie was really good and entertaining. It doesn't have to be your favorite movie of all time, but there's no way you can't tell me it's not entertaining. Just a lot of good around it. Every once in a while that'll happen for somebody for a movie. That's how it was for him. So he finds they had it on DVD for just $2, and he brings it up to me, and he's like almost like a kid giddy. It was really funny, and he doesn't always do that. So he brings it up. He's, can you get this for me? And I was like, do you even have a DVD player? And just like kind of like, oh, like almost defeated. And the guy's like, if you want, I'll just throw it in. Like, going out of his way. $7 isn't the craziest at the end of the world. That's a meal, man. That's money that he could have had. And he's like, I don't care, man. I'm just here for you guys' experience or doing what I can. Those are the people that matter most. Like, get into something you love. And I'm not just being preachy. This is the truth. Get into something you love, and you will see life just become so much better around you, whether it's hobby, career, whatever. That's awesome. That makes me want to get into it even more than I am. And I've always thought about having my own shop as a kid. This would be a really cool segment if I ended up getting it in the future for a YouTube video. But genuinely, I always thought about having a shop, and just the way you treat people is so important. And to go out of your way to be that generous and nice, I really appreciate it. It was so funny because it looked almost cleaned out because of how much they took, but they still had these big ass drawers of the single issues, and I'm so happy because some of the stuff I found in there that either wasn't taken or they brought back or whatever was some of the stuff I was most interested in. So it's really cool. Besides that, I guess the last thing I'll tell you guys is I've been reading Nightfall. I'm going to leave down in the description my new channel I made. It's just going to be called Core Critiques. I used it for TikTok, and I kind of like the idea. I'm going to do movies on there, hopefully like normal books, comic books, whatever. If you want to throw a sub, I'd be really appreciative. I was reading Batman Nightfall whenever I get a chance. And I use it how other people use it. When I'm using it right now, just know, like, if I was really bored or really had nothing to do, this is really good, though. This wasn't a help with boredom. It was really good. So I was insanely busy, but I would find time to read this. I think I'm near page 200, which doesn't seem like anything. There's a lot of dialogue in this and stuff going on in a very good way. This is easily, at the moment, going to become one of my favorite Batman comics. I haven't read that many, just basically Court of Owls, I believe, for myself. This is awesome. Like, the story they have, if you guys don't want me to give it away here, I won't. I might go in depth and definitely give spoilers and maybe even through the story in the Core Collects. For right now, just know, if you're looking for something to read and you somehow haven't read this like I hadn't in this long, it's amazing. If you're a big fan of Batman and his Rogues Gallery, this is amazing. There's 2 more volumes of it. There's 2 and 3 that I know of. I don't think there's a 4. I know there's a prelude, so we can say there's 4, I believe. I love it so far. I can't even remember how I got the recommendation, but I'm very appreciative. But I think that does it. I'll show you guys really quick. Oh, there was something I brought in here. Where did I put it? Damn. What did I do with it? Anyways, here's the Batman box just to show you guys really quick. I really don't know where it went. I got a Rockies hat. Did I just see it? Hold on, I'm tweaking out, dude. I'm going to leave that all in because I look so funny. Let me get it real quick. Okay, anyways, while I show this, I'll kind of give you guys a rundown on what we did so I don't have to make like a separate video. I mean, I can do an IRL one, but we ended up going to a Rockies game was one of the things we did, so I got a hat. Really like the hat. Flat bills can either look 50-50 on me, either like make me look like really childish wearing it or look good. So for now, I'm just going to bend the bills. And funny enough, that's what it's called, bend a bill. I got this off the TikTok shop. I'm not promoting it to get money. If you want to get it, if you have flat bills, go for it. If not, you can just look at it and admire. I'll let you guys, I mean, if they end up looking really good, I might even wear them in videos. But here's what we did on vacation. We got to go skydiving. I plan on making like an IRL YouTube. I'm not going to promise at all that it'll be very active. But as I do cool stuff like the vacations and different like really cool events, I do want to vlog stuff or kind of put something up there so you can have the experience with me if you want. We did skydiving, which I got a lot of videos and photos for. We did whitewater rafting. I don't think there's like any footage of that, but trust me, the tour guide Adam at Royal Gorge, I believe, he had so much energy. It was like borderline inspiring. Like, it was insane. Amazing guide. We were one of the only rafts, if not the only, to not have anybody at all tip. Guide didn't tip out of the boat. None of us. It was awesome. It was, I think they said the water was as high as it could get without being dangerous. Like, it was right at that borderline where they would have called it off. So really cool. We did skydiving, whitewater rafting, zip lining at that same Royal Gorge place. The zip lining, the members that we had, at least the guide for the whitewater rafting and the zip lining, all super nice. It was, I think, what was their names? There was Adam, Maddox, and Stan, I think, or Stan, or I apologize if I'm messing that up. All three were sick. And then we did, the Rockies game was after skydiving. They played the Brewers and they won, luckily, because I was cheering for the Rockies, even though not like my team or anything. It was more for the experience. What else? We went out to eat a decent bit because, you know, you don't get to eat that a lot. I'm trying to think what else. Besides that, I don't know. We had like something to do every day. Oh, we went on a train ride, one of the cog trains or whatever, and it has like crazy incline, so they have to have a cog that'll keep them going up with the momentum. That was really cool. I think it was Pikes Peak. Oh, we also went to Garden of the Gods. That was sick. We only really had like one rest day and then like a half when we had to go home. But it was cool. I'm very, very happy. I'll try to get you guys some of that IRL content so you can see it. And besides that, Core Critiques is already up as a channel. I have a really good idea for a all-in-one channel that I'll make, and then I'll put in the description of every one of these. Besides that, I really appreciate you guys' time. I know the rambling in this video, I don't think this will ever be topped. If this is topped, I'm impressed. If you stayed around to the end, I love you guys. I really appreciate it. I must be doing something right if you stayed this long. Just know I'm doing what I love, and I will do everything I can to be as entertaining for you guys so you can feel it too. So I can hopefully, like these people are doing for me, get you even more into it and enjoy it more. That's all I'm going for. Besides that, you guys have a good one. I'll see you later.